Well, thank you for joining me again. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Brendan Miller. I am an analyst with Deloitte Consulting. I joined Deloitte back in January of 2021, so a little over a year ago. Prior to that, I graduated from IU in 2020, where I studied with I majored, I majored in informatics with cognate in business, minors in business, cybersecurity, and financial literacy.
Gotcha. Wow, you really went for business, huh?
A little bit of everything, yeah. But I enjoyed it, kept me busy. I didn't like to sit still a lot.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Well, why did you choose Luddy, and why did it stand out more than other like tech schools or engineering schools?
Yeah. So when I was going through the recruitment process I was looking at schools all across the country. So
Mhm.
everywhere from the East Coast to the West Coast. And I was really looking for a school that allowed me to study technology without being computer science. I didn't have um, interest in doing a computer science degree. I much more wanted to have, I'll say, a people aspect to things where there's a large people component of being able to problem solve. So when looking at schools all across the country, I I was consistently pushed to either a full-on engineering program or a computer science track, which neither of which was really exactly what I was looking for. So, when I came to IU and I learned about the informatics program, it was basically the exact intersection for what I was looking for. You had the people aspect, you had the business aspect, you had the technology aspect. It was everything I was looking for, um, all all in one package, and the ability to, I'll say, the flexibility of the informatics program itself was also very appealing to me. I started as a um, as a security cognate, and I really loved and enjoyed the classes so much that halfway through my experience at IU, I decided to switch to a different cognate and make security my minor. And so I went on the business track, and I enjoyed business so much I ended up getting a minor in business as well. So just I'll say the flexibility and the ability to pursue my own personal passions and development in in various avenues was something that I really enjoyed doing, and ultimately why um, I decided to go to Luddy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've noticed the informatics has like 20 plus different cognates. It's really cool how people can apply that to so many different topics.
Yeah, and to me, it's very interesting to see people do. I believe there's the individualized cognate where you can make up your own one. So if there isn't
Yeah.
one on the list that doesn't jive with you, you can create your own. So
Yeah.
very flexible, and I would say another reason why it was so, I'll say, easy to make the decision is the people. Um, from end to end during the recruitment process to even joining Luddy after starting at IU. It's like the people you meet, from the professors to very close to the career services staff, even today. Many of us are Facebook friends. That you know, everyone is just great to be around, and there's just I'll say a great family vibe to Luddy.
Well, kind of leading into that, what was your favorite part about being a Luddy student?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I would say the ability to, I'd say the strength of the, I'll say the strength of the network within IU in general. So going back to the people aspect of things, um, Luddy has that great family vibe to it, where um, people talk and have very strong connections to other departments within IU and other other practitioners at IU. So one of my favorite parts about Luddy is just the network that we have. So I think about being at career services, right, and getting to work with the fantastic staff there. I was able to, I think one day I was talking to one of the people in career services is like, hey, I'm considering doing an internship for my capstone. Do you know any details about that? And they're like, yes, let me set you up with a professor that knows everything about it. And we'll block up your calendar. And they made an introductory email and just really set me up for success. I can think again of other times where I've had professors team me up for, I'll say, introductory interviews with various companies where it's like we have this great just connection to alumni, but also other people within IU. When I think about any of the positions that I held at IU, be it my internship with the police department or being an RA, or I also did a stint with recruiting as well within Luddy. It's like all of that was mainly achieved through networking and people introducing me to other people. So having that very strong network and the people to help with that was really invaluable. I'm not too sure if that answered your question, but I hope it did.
No, I mean, I can definitely relate to that because when I decided I was going to be a double major in psychology, I went to our boss, Carly, and she was like, well, I have all these, I can contact these people and we can figure out something for you. And
I feel like that's not something you find everywhere, where it's like people genuinely want to help and see you succeed. And it's, even today, Carly and I, Carrie, Kendall, and we all have great relationships today. I was just emailing Trisha this morning. Like we still keep in contact today. And it's like, you really have these relationships that continue to build and flourish over time. So yeah, it's something special that, I've taken classes out of various other schools on campus. And I would say that Luddy definitely has a very close and tight-knit community.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Well, kind of pivoting our from like the non-academic, but how has your degree from Luddy helped you with your career at Deloitte or just in general?
Yeah. So I would say I'm in a very how do I want to phrase this? Very unique position coming out of Luddy, being working at Deloitte. So I would say the majority of people that go into, let's say, come through the campus hire pipeline at Deloitte tend to come from a business background, and graduating out of Kelley School of Business or something else. And being from the Luddy School, but also having a business background very much puts me into, I'll say, a different category in a good way, because now working at Deloitte, I get pulled onto projects that might be a little bit more technical in nature, that some of the business people might not have quite as much of a depth of knowledge in that area, but they can bring me on and say, hey, Brendan has a background in this and he can really speak that language. Brendan, can you help us? And so able to go onto those projects, but also because I have that business background, I'm able to have those discussions with clients, being able to translate, very, very technical solutions into everyday, I'll say layman's terms of, hey, this is what's happening. Here's what we're proposing is the step forward. What are your thoughts? And okay, let's go implement it. And being able to talk through that process end to end is a skill set that is very much in high demand throughout the industry. Beyond Deloitte, beyond consulting, that's a skill set that not everyone has. So being able to engage in those discussions is great. And also being able to be a resource that teaches other people, teaches people about more technical skill sets, and being able to sit down with the business people and be like, hey, this is what's happening. Let me walk you through this. And vice versa, there are some things that I might not have as much depth of knowledge in the business side, and the business folks are able to walk me through more in depth. So it's this great handoff, but it's like I love being pulled on to these variety of different projects and being able to quickly analyze and be able to help not troubleshoot, but problem solve whatever is happening on the client. So I would say the Luddy degree has definitely teed me up very well to be in a domain and have a skill set that is in high demand. And the work that I'm doing today is very interesting and definitely very, just very engaging, because there isn't no 2 days have been the same, and it's like I enjoy the variety and being able to be thrown into a variety of different situations and being able to adapt and be flexible and troubleshoot. Luddy has taken me far in that regard.
No, that's really cool. I definitely have never really thought of how sometimes you need that person that can speak both languages. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Useful,
Yeah,
definitely useful.
Absolutely, extremely useful. And it's fun at the end of the day.
Well, kind of add to that, what about any clubs or extracurriculars that also helped your career?
Yeah, I would say probably I didn't do a ton of extracurriculars at IU, but I did have a lot of on-campus employment. So I think my senior year, I worked 4 different jobs at once.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it. And I'm very much someone that likes to be kept busy. And I would say the position from there that probably has helped me the most was actually career services. Part of the way that I started working at career services was actually meeting Carrie, one of the advisors in the office, in the Y395 class, the career development class, and sitting in the class and learning about all the different and end to end of how career services works, and being in that class at 8 a.m., realizing that, oh, this is actually really interesting stuff, and talking to Carrie after the class, and ultimately going back to how Luddy has a strong network and tees you up for success. Carrie encouraged me to apply to be a peer, and ultimately during one of our say one-on-one meetings we had set up, Carrie improv'd a little bit, and it's like, okay, instead of what we originally had scheduled, why don't I take you around the office and introduce you to everyone, including the hiring manager, which actually was fantastic, and got to really recognize that, wow, it's like this is a great community to work with. So all that to say, part of the reason why it's like I chose to work at career services and why it's helped me grow so much during my time at IU, a couple of reasons. Number one, I had great exposure to employers that were coming to campus, where be it Kendallin or Jody would introduce me via email to recruiters and be like, hey, Brennan's going to be your point of contact. Coordinate with him and he'll set you up to go. And a lot of times that translated into getting extra face time with employers that I wanted to get to know better. Part of the reason why I'm here at Deloitte. Like met recruiters and other people prior to events, and it's easy to be a point of contact, or it's easy to be recognizable as a candidate when you're also a point of contact for the university as well. So that helped me pretty much immediately get a job coming out of IU. But beyond that too, working at career services, having the skill set or being trained on skill sets to conduct interviews and behavioral interviews, case interviews, being able to review resumes. And gosh, I've probably conducted hundreds of behavioral or case interviews and reviewed hundreds of resumes, and being able now to actually be able to review resumes as an employer, right? So Deloitte, I work on the IU recruiting team. It's like I sit down with a team of people, and I'm very easily able to pick out like, okay, it's like what is important in a resume and what is not, and also be able to just have those skill sets professionally, personally, when it's like, oh, I need to update my resume for something internally. It's like it's very easy for me to do that, and it's just become this great professional skill set that I've built up to be able to personally be able to sell myself within Deloitte. I'd say that interviewing skill set as well. Whenever I'm meeting someone new or meeting a client for the first time, or if I'm interviewing to be on a project internally, having that skill set of what looks good for a behavioral interview, what does not, and being able to do an elevator pitch very quickly is something that I foresee carrying me very far, and something that I very much am extremely thankful for being able to work at career services. So yeah.
I agree. It's definitely given me a different perspective, because coming into this job, I didn't know much about anything about career stuff when it came to computer science, or just for like the engineering stuff. So it was cool for me to enter and be like, whoa, look at all these opportunities and people.
Yeah, and they set you up for success. And I personally feel that career services is a fantastic resource that doesn't get nearly as much use as I know some people could benefit from it. So if there's one piece of advice I would give anyone watching this interview, is go to career services. Like, they want to see you succeed.
That's great advice. Well, is there anything else that you want to mention during this? Anything that popped in your head or during this?
Not off the top of my head. Yeah, it's I would say college is a great time. Have fun. If you're trying to figure out what your next steps are, go to career services, go to a academic advisor. It's like, people are here to help, and they want to see you succeed.
Yeah, my dad told me when he was when he was out of college, he needed his resume to be looked at, and he was like, it spent like hundreds of dollars when you have this free thing here that can just help you out.
Absolutely. And it's another great point is, even after you graduate, career services is still here for you. And I've definitely taken advantage of them after graduating, just from hey, I'm thinking about doing this change in my career. It's It's like, I want to talk it through with someone. And I hopped on the phone with Jody, and Jody's like, okay, lay it on me, what's happening? And just being able to talk through career decisions with someone else can be very beneficial, and especially with other advisors in the office, you get these great perspectives that make you consider point of views that you wouldn't have otherwise thought about.
Definitely. Well, thanks again for joining me today. It's been really cool
Yeah.
talking with you.
You're so welcome. I enjoyed this.
Me too.